Every morning at 8:05 a.m. sharp, Maya poured hot coffee into the chipped green mug at table 7. It belonged to Mr. Whitaker, the quiet old man who came to Sunnyside Café every single day for the past 5 years. Always with the same order: eggs over easy, wheat toast, and a folded copy of the Gazette. He rarely spoke except to say, "Thank you, miss," with a gentle smile that barely reached his eyes. The other waitresses didn't pay much attention. Maya, though, always made time, refilling his cup, wiping his table herself, and placing a fresh daisy in the little vase by his napkin. Her co-workers laughed. Why waste time on a man who doesn't even tip? But Maya didn't care. To her, Mr. Whitaker reminded her of her dad. Kind, quiet, and alone. One rainy morning he didn't show up. First no one noticed. But by the third day Maya felt something shift. The chipped green mug sat untouched. The flower drooped. The empty chair made the cafe feel strangely hollow. Then a letter came, addressed to her. In shaky handwriting it read, "Thank you for making an old man feel visible. I saw the flowers. Saw you." It meant more than I could say. Inside the envelope, a small worn key. To what? Maya turned the small brass key over in her hand. It was old, heavy, with a faded tag attached. Locker 117. Brookhill Station. Her heart thudded. Mr. Whitaker had barely spoken more than 10 words to her in 5 years. Why would he leave her a key? And how did he know her name? After her shift at Sunnyside Café, she drove to Brookhill Station, the dusty old train terminal just outside town. Most of the lockers were rusted, abandoned. But number 117 opened with a soft, reluctant creak. Inside was a thick leather-bound journal and a shoebox tied with twine. She opened the journal first. The first page read, "To Maya. Read only if you still believe small kindness matters." Maya sat on a nearby bench and flipped through the pages. Mr. Whitaker, real name Howard Whitaker, had once been a college literature professor, a devoted husband to a woman named Claire, and a father to twin boys. But 22 years ago, a tragic car accident took them all. After that, he left everything behind. His home, his friends, even his name. He wandered for years before settling near Brookhill. He started coming to Sunnyside Café 5 years ago after walking past it on a rainy afternoon. He said Maya's small gestures, refilling his cup, remembering his order, placing a flower on his table, gave him a reason to wake up in the morning. In the shoebox was a sealed envelope and a check. $50,000. The letter inside read, "Use this for nursing school. I overheard you say you didn't think anyone believed in you. But I do. You saw me when no one else did." Tears welled in Maya's eyes. He had never been just a quiet old man. He had been holding on to life because someone noticed. News of Mr. Whitaker's story spread through Sunnyside Café like wildfire. "He left you money. For school. And all this time, we thought he was just a lonely old man who didn't even tip." Maya ignored the chatter. Her mind wasn't on the check, it was on the journal. Page after page, Mr. Whitaker poured out his soul. Grief, guilt, and gratitude. He wasn't invisible after all. He had simply been broken. The very next week, Maya enrolled at Brookhill Community College. She dreamed of becoming a nurse for years but always pushed it aside. Too expensive, too impractical, too late. Now she had no excuse. And for the first time she felt like someone believed in her. She carried Mr. Whitaker's journal in her backpack every day like a secret lighthouse, something steady to hold on to. 1 month in, Maya was asked to give a presentation in class about human connection and mental health. She titled it, "The Empty Chair at Table 7. She didn't speak about the money, not even the check. She told the story of a man who quietly came back to life through small acts of kindness. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't even speak much. But I gave him a flower, a warm cup of coffee. I treated him like he mattered. And that saved both of us in ways I didn't even understand." When she finished, the classroom was silent. A boy in the front row had tears in his eyes. Later that night, Maya walked back to the café. Not to work, but to sit at table 7. She poured coffee into the chipped green mug, placed a fresh daisy in the vase, and smiled through her tears. The chair was still empty, but not forgotten. As the semester unfolded, Maya juggled lectures, labs, and late-night shifts with quiet determination. But it was the journal she returned to most nights. It had become a ritual, 1 page before sleep, like a letter from a ghost who still had something to teach her. Then she reached the section titled, "Letters Never Sent." Mr. Whitaker had written hundreds of letters to his late wife, Claire, and their sons. Unsent. Unread. Just bottled up grief and words that had nowhere to go. She turned the pages, heart tight. "Dear Claire, I met a girl today. Her name's Maya. You would have liked her. She notices things most people don't, like which mug I always use, or when my coffee needs warming. I think she's why I'm still here." Maya pressed the page to her chest. Mr. Whitaker had been quietly watching her too. The journal wasn't just a story of his past. It was a reminder of how powerful being present could be, even when words failed. That night, Maya began writing letters of her own. To her mom, thanking her for the second job she took to buy Maya school books. To herself, as a little girl who never felt seen. And to Mr. Whitaker. "You didn't just help me go to school. You taught me how to look, how to listen, how to believe that small kindness makes a big difference." Inspired, Maya started leaving handwritten notes around town. "You are not invisible. You matter. Someone sees you." She tucked one into a student's dropped notebook, slipped another under a lonely neighbor's door. Because if a flower on a table could save a man's life, imagine what a few words could do. By spring, Maya's world looked completely different. She was top of her class, a volunteer at the local clinic, and well on her way to finishing her first year in nursing school. She still worked part-time at Sunnyside Café, but now with a glow in her eyes and a fire in her step. Then one day, a flyer on the campus bulletin board caught her eye. Nominate someone for the Brook Hill Kindness Scholarship. The scholarship was new. $5,000 for a student who had made a measurable difference in the lives of others through quiet acts of kindness. I almost walked past it. But a classmate, Delaney, stopped her in the hallway a week later. "Hey, I nominated you. Just so you know." Maya blinked. "Me? Why?" Delaney smiled. "I was having panic attacks before class every morning. You left a note on my desk that said, 'Breathe. You've got this.' I didn't know who left it until I saw your handwriting in lab. That note got me through." 2 more students came forward that week. A janitor even told her, "Found your "You Are Appreciated" card in my mop bucket. Thought it was a mistake. Then I realized someone cared. Been working here 20 years. Never got a thank you." Maya didn't win the scholarship. But the board created something new. The Whitaker Wall of Quiet Heroes. They put up photos, thank you notes, and anonymous quotes from around campus. Proof that kindness does leave a mark. Maya stood in front of the wall and traced her fingers over a pinned photo. "Table 7, the green mug, the daisy." She whispered, "We did it, Mr. Whitaker." And for a moment, she swore she felt a warm breeze brush past her shoulder. As if someone had just pulled out the chair beside her. One gray Saturday morning, Maya received a letter. No return address. Just her name, written in neat cursive across the front. Inside was a note that read, "You don't know me, but I'm Howard Whitaker's niece, Rachel. I found your name in his journal. Like to meet you. He talked about you a lot." Her hands trembled as she read it again. A week later, they met at a quiet park near the edge of town. Rachel was in her early 40s, soft-spoken, with the same tired kindness Mr. Whitaker had carried in his eyes. "He always blamed himself," Rachel said, eyes watery. "He disappeared after the accident. We never knew where he went. And then a few weeks ago, I got a box in the mail with his journal. And your name." Maya sat in stunned silence. "I used to think he was selfish for vanishing," Rachel continued. "But after reading about you, I realize he was just hurting. And you gave him peace." Maya nodded, tears welling up. "I didn't do anything special," she whispered. Rachel smiled gently. "You noticed him. That's everything." They sat in silence for a moment, watching kids chase birds and old men play chess under the trees. Then Rachel reached into her bag and handed Maya something wrapped in cloth. It was the chipped green mug. "He wanted you to have it," she said. "Said it was always warmer in your hands." Maya clutched it to her chest. She thought of the empty chair, Daisy, coffee, and the man who'd taught her that sometimes the quietest people have the loudest impact. That afternoon, Maya placed the mug on her desk beside her textbooks. It wasn't just a reminder. It was a promise. 3 years later, Maya stood in the hallway of Brook Hill Memorial Hospital, wearing teal scrubs and a stethoscope around her neck. Her ID badge read, Maya Lewis, RN. She was finally a nurse. Not just because of the check or the school or the scholarship she never won. Because of the green mug. Daisy. The man who sat silently at table 7 and taught her that kindness, once planted, never dies. Every week, she visited the hospital's long-term care wing. Patients with no family, no visitors, and sometimes no words left to say. She brought them coffee, flowers, and sometimes she just sat beside them listening. One day, as she walked past the break room, a young intern stopped her. "Excuse me," he said shyly. "Are you the Maya who started the Notes of Light project?" She nodded slowly. He pulled a folded note from his pocket. "You are not invisible. I found this in the library last year," he said. "It helped me through some really dark stuff. Kept it. Just wanted to say thanks." Maya smiled and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Mr. Whitaker would have liked you." He looked confused, but she just smiled and walked away. Back in her apartment that night, she made tea and opened the old leather journal. The pages were worn, the ink faded, but the impact was alive in her every day. She pulled out the green mug and filled it, as always, just a little past halfway. Then she placed a single white daisy in a vase on her windowsill. Outside, the city moved on. But inside, the legacy of quiet kindness lived on in every breath, every heartbeat, every small act that said, "I see you." And that was everything.